All right, I think that'll do it. How's it going, guys? I'm Robert from Machado Visuals, and welcome to Gearside Chat number 2. Welcome to the kind of impromptu stream. Hopefully my audio is syncing up and is sounding okay. If it's not, let me know, and I'll do my best to adjust that. I've been super busy lately, which is good. I mean, I guess. I hope you guys have been busy. I'm in the middle of also like 3 different videos for the channel. As you guys all know, the A7S III is quite the hot topic right now, so I'm trying to crank out a lot of videos on that, and I've gotten a lot of it seems pretty good reception on my last video, so hopefully I can keep that wave going. On top of my professional work, so it's been a pretty hectic couple weeks, so it'll hopefully slow down. Sorry about that. What's up, Daniel? Curious how the RS2 compares to the Crane 3S. Yeah, I don't think I've used the 3S. I've used the 3 a handful of times. I personally never liked the 3. The handle is too small for me, and I know you can like kind of build it out. I know a lot of people like build theirs out with the dual grips, but I've been using the original ronin-s since it came out. I think I was one of the first to pre-order it, and you've been using it for the past few years, and it's been great. It has seen better days, though. The camera sled that kind of goes back and forth. It like sometimes it'll just get stuck, so to fix it, I'll literally just whack on it, and I'm able to adjust it. So this is a very welcome upgrade. I'm very excited to actually get my hands on this. This is gonna be really exciting. Another one of the videos I'm working on for the channel is a recent 3-camera interview I shot with the FX9s and A7S. I think it was technically the first time I brought it out on a job. I was still very hesitant, but it actually worked out pretty well. It was actually our master shot for our 3 cameras, and I'll dive a little bit more into how well it matched. But I used Cinetone really quick. TLDR, I used Cinetone on the FX9s, and for the A7S IIIs, I used HLG3 in a Rec 709 color space, and they matched super, super well. So I'm excited to put that video out too. So, what's up, Jeff? Will the RS2 work with the steadicam? I don't know. I've seen maybe. I don't know how the ronin-s actually. I don't know how those gimbals actually mount to the steadicam. You're more than welcome to try it out anyhow. Okay, well, I mean, you guys know why you're here. I know why I'm here. Let's open this guy up. I got this guy in yesterday, but I've just been in the middle of all kinds of things, so I haven't even got a chance to actually mess with it. What's up, Michael Wooden? How you doing, man? Good to have you in the stream. How's that A7S been treating you? It's been treating me pretty well, actually. So, cool. Let's kind of just dive into this. I'm very keen. I have another A7S ready to kind of throw on here. If I had a little bit more production value, I'd switch to another camera, but alas, that's too much work for me right now. I shot a commercial for my gym today, actually with the A7S. It's actually behind me. It's all rigged up, kind of, dark night back there. And it performed really well. I was super happy with it. It's basically like a mini little FX9, just minus the NDs. S-Log looks wonderful. So that'll be another video I'm working on. But yeah, no, it's a great little camera. Okay, let's see what we got here. Can I try to balance the FX9? You know what? I probably could. That'd be another good video. Bet you I could clickbait the crap out of that. What's in the box? Man, what an old series. For those of you who followed me on Instagram for a number of years, I used to do What's in the Boxes, where I would just open stuff on Instagram, all the stuff that I would get. I guess this is a replacement of that. Oh, that is a nice case. We got some more manuals and stuff like that. Sorry, I don't have another camera I can switch to. Oh, not trying to get too fancy right now. Jeff, did I order the 3D focus? Yeah, so this is the Pro combo, whatever the heck that means. So it's got the transmitter, it's got a focus motor, it's got a bunch of extra cables. So yeah, I just got the Pro. combo. Am I going to continue using the Pocket 6K? That one, I don't know. I feel like I have an issue with one of my sensors. I've been meaning to send it in. I just haven't had the chance to yet. I don't know. I've been thinking about selling them. I don't know yet. I have no clue. I've already made my money back with them, so I don't know. Honestly, I'm not really using them much anymore. If I was really trying to be really extra, I'll do a giveaway or something. Maybe Christmas. Don't hold your breath. I really like this case, though. It's a lot smaller than the Ronin-s. It's also got like a kind of a hard, like soft hard shell bottom too, which is pretty nice. Okay, yeah, it's very reminiscent of the accessory pouch on the Ronin 2. I don't know if how many of you guys have messed with that. Got a handle, the little tripod, sled, or the plate. This looks like the phone holder. I don't know how much, honestly, I don't know how much I'll be using the phone holder. I hate using my phones with gear. Ooh, look at this. Wow, this is super light. This feels like there's nothing in there. So, like, for those of you that use the Ronin-s, imagine what that battery feels like, and imagine if it were hollow. That's exactly what this feels like. It feels like there's nothing in here. This is so light. I still can't believe that all of this is lighter than the original Ronin-s. So that's very exciting. So actually, let me plop this guy on here. It's got that new gimbal feel. Okay, what do we got in here? This, I think, is the briefcase doohickey. Should tie me? I don't know about that one. I don't even know how well this stream is gonna go. I'm being honest. Oh, goodness gracious. To be honest, if I'm being completely honest, as soon as I saw, because we all knew that this was kind of coming. As soon as I saw it was live, I just ordered. I didn't even read what it was. I just knew I needed it, because my current one is like in not so great of a shape. So I just ordered it, honestly. So I did my fair share of YouTube video watching, but I mean, we'll see. This is a nice little port cover, little rubber port cover. So apparently, I want to unlock that. Oh, that's cool. And the motors lock. Wow. Actually, I mean, that's it, right? So if I wanted to unlock these motors, nope. How the heck do you do this? Okay, a little switch. A little switch there. I would assume, nope. What the heck is this? A little switch there. Okay, and we're unlocked. That only took 5 minutes. Okay, cool. So I guess I dispose of those. So this, I'm really curious on this this plate. So this is Manfrotto. So I wonder, because I know that the old plate, like, you couldn't use it on other heads. Like, it was like Manfrotto, but it was proprietary. This one, I wonder if you can use on a, well, the only other tripod I have, I'm using it. But also, this Arca Swiss is, I don't know, it's a little bit weird to me. Because normally, I like Arca Swiss plates when they're facing, like, right now it's facing kind of horizontally. I like it when it's in line with the plate. Like, I don't know if that's a weird thing or if that's just me. But I also don't know if you're able to use, like, just any other Arca Swiss. Actually, I don't know. Maybe that is the right way to do it. Anywho, let's throw this on the camera. Do you think we could just buy the plate separately? I have always wanted an Arca Swiss on that plate. Buy the plate separately? You mean like buy this separately? I'm positive I have some Arca Swiss plates laying around. I'm just not going to go up and find one right now. But that is a really good question, because this Arca Swiss might be like another one of those proprietary things because of this this little lock. You obviously can't see that, but there's like a little, that little lock, that safety lock. So this might be a proprietary Arca Swiss. I feel like I'm handling a gun right now. Cool. Okay. Screws. I'm gonna venture there. Here. Let's see. I don't want to open this. This looks like a riser. A little tiny little baby motor. Honestly, I don't know how much use I'll get out of this. Like, if I were using my Pocket 6K more, I mean, this would be a great pairing with that, with the motor. But to be honest, like, I have an A7S III now, so who knows? But, I mean, it's nice to have. Motor, looks like a little arm for it. And I'm guessing this is going to be the RavenEye. So that's kind of cool. It's a little neat little thing. Because I've been lazy to use my gimbals because of different plates. Yeah, I mean, best case, I mean, again, I don't know how proprietary this is, but your best bet would be to get a bunch of Arca receiver plates. Because that's what I did at one point for a lot of my smaller cameras. Just got a bunch of Arca Swiss receiver plates, so that way I can use all my stuff. And so that's what I'm kind of doing now with all of my cameras. I'm kind of switching over to dovetails. So now all of my, because like I have a lot of wooden camera stuff, so all of my stuff just slides onto dovetails right now, which is super nice. I need screws. I don't know where they are. I'm just gonna make a huge mess. There's a crap ton of cables in here. Yeah, multi USB-C, bunch of just a huge snake. More cables, great. Who cares? I have no idea where they put the screws. Oh. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah, this RavenEye thing I think will be really cool. I think it's cool that they include this. Yeah, this will be cool. Even though it goes to a phone, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I mean, if they made it so that it was like a actual TXRX, it would be way more expensive, obviously. But let's see. All right, so I have one of my other A7S right here. Actually, I need to take this plate off. Actually, this is this Arca Swiss? This isn't Arca Swiss. No, it's too big. Great. All right, and then release the hole. These holes are threaded. This is riveting, isn't it? All right. A little low profile plate. Lowish. Nope, only goes in one way. Lock it. So, yeah, that's interesting. That it would be cool if this Arca Swiss plate could move forward and back on the actual plate. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let me kind of make some room for the mess I've made. Okay. It's so small. It's so light. I dig it. Okay, can I lock this? Oh, I can lock that. Can I lock this? Wow. All right. Unlocked. It's so little. I bet you I don't even have any charge. I don't. Nope, I don't have any charge. I can't even turn it off. I can balance it. This might be a shorter stream than I thought. All right, let's unlock this. This adjustment knob is kind of cool. I actually kind of really dig that. Is there another knob, or is it just... Oh, I see, okay. Put me on the spot with my balancing skills. I could try to plug it in. It is USB-C, so I might be able to hijack my laptop charger. Boom. I'd buy it. All right, and then side to side, I need to unlock. Oh man, I love being able to lock every axis. That's awesome. All right, unlocked. It would be cool if the side to side had a another knob like the Ronin, or the Ronin 2. I really like balancing the Ronin 2 because of all the different knobs that it has. And that looks good. And then this guy. Is that? Oh, it's locked. Okay, that's it. Well, thanks for tuning into this. Let me see if I can plug this guy in. Let's see here. I don't even know where to. Oh, it was right here. Also, the fact that I don't have to attach both of these to charge it, incredible. Every time I would be prepping, and every time I had to take out the original ronin-s out of its dang case, and then I had to pretty much assemble the whole thing just to charge it. Like, it always drove me crazy. Okay, it's plugged in. I don't see any lights. Oh, there we go. Can I turn it on? I don't think I can even turn it on. Okay, well, I mean, that's that. I could take a look at some of the other stuff. Some of the tension screws on my ronin-s have stripped. Not unusable. The whole thing about the horrible timing of the S2 launch. Definitely have more important things to invest in. You know, that's probably true. As I block my whole face. Let me. Yeah, I don't know if you caught me earlier, but I was saying that my ronin-s has the forward and back. This part, when you pull this back and you can slide it back and forth, a lot of times it will get stuck. So what I'll literally do is it'll get stuck no matter what. I can't move it, and it's totally unlocked. What I'll do is I'll literally just bang this, bop, and then it jolts it free, and I'm able to slide it back and forth. Super janky, and it annoys the crap out of me. So I was very happy to get this little guy, and sit here while it charges. So, yeah, and I don't know how much use I'll get out of this RavenEye thing. Because again, I hate using phones. I hate relying on phones when I'm using equipment. The RavenEye will feed multiple devices. That one I don't. I want to say no, but I also don't know. I could be completely wrong with that answer. Because I feel like I don't think it's like a Teradek situation where you can kind of send it out to multiple devices. I think it's like tied to. I want to say it's tied to an app, but that one I'll definitely check in on. And actually, how do you mount it? It looks like there's a little opening there, and I don't even know which way it goes. At least it's nice and tidy. Do you lock it? How do you? Goodness gracious. Luckily, I don't have any gimbal jobs in a very long time. Yeah, I have no idea how to lock this. Or does it even lock? That's sketchy. Am I missing something? Which obviously will throw off your balance. Yeah, that's really unfortunate that it's not charged. I mean, I get it, but yeah, I can already tell though, this is super, super duper light, and I'm very excited about that. Cool. So, like, are you guys using any gimbals right now? Like, what are you guys using? Because you know, I'm stuck with this guy who's charging. I had planned on showing actually some footage from the shoot today from the A7S, but I was having issues with also this knob. This front knob feels really. This is where it always should have been. That's really nice. Again, don't know how much use I'll get out of it. So real estate stuff. Yeah, I feel like that's the perfect warlord for real estate stuff. I know that like the Weeble, like wasn't there no like Weeble? I was very, very close. I was on the fence on getting one, and then rumors of this guy started floating around, so that's why I decided to make the jump. And banned. R.I.P. Crane 2. Do I think this is worth upgrading to? What reason? For me, I personally never liked using the cranes. I always thought, especially the Crane 2, I feel like the Crane 2, the handle is like as thick as this stick. Like, I feel like I'm grabbing, and like, sometimes you do want a little bit more weight just because it adds a little bit more stability to your camera. Like, for Steadicam as an example, like, a lot of times, like, that's a big reason Steadicams now are, I mean, they're not struggling, but whenever we throw an Alexa Mini or some small camera package on their Steadicams, they usually have a tougher time balancing the rig because it's so light. So a lot of times you want a little bit of more added weight. And actually, the camera behind me for the shoot today, that guy, that was another reason I kind of jam-packed a lot of accessories and hoo-has all over it, is because I wanted that extra weight. I wasn't going to be adding any stabilization or any of that stuff, so weight does go a long way with kind of stabilizing your rig. This one, I was obviously a little bit more powerful. I don't know, anytime I've used the Crane 2, I've just never, I don't know, it feels, I don't know, it feels tiny to me. So like, I like having something I could really kind of grip into, and that's why I really leaned on the original ronin-s. So yeah, Michael, that's a real bummer about, is band going on where you're at? Because I don't think it's happening here. Yeah, and I don't know what my plans are for next. I mean, what anyone's plans are for next year in terms of DCI and stuff like that. But with all this new camera tech available, it would be interesting to see how I would approach that. Because in the past, like whenever I would go on the road with a drum corps, I would bring just so much stuff, like an unreasonable amount of stuff. And now that camera technology has gotten so good, it'd be interesting to see how I can just shrink all that stuff. Jeff, you have an original Osmo. You have all the Osmos, every single Osmo known to man. Steadicam S. Do I own a Steadicam? Want to try one of mine? Yeah, that would be cool. I would love to see what the S is like on this guy. I remember I didn't necessarily check it out at NEB. I saw it. I've seen it a little bit, but I haven't really messed with one. Yeah, I think Steadicam. Actually that was what I originally wanted to be when I was like 6 years ago, when I was still kind of new to the industry. I wanted to be a Steadicam operator. That was like my, because I grew up on the glide cam delights, and I had the vest and I still do have the vest and everything for that. I haven't used it in ever, since it's not my thing really, but that was originally what I wanted to be, like a Steadicam operator. But then as I kind of aged, I guess you would say, I realized it wasn't really for me. A big reason for that is because I'm just short. Steadicam is short. If you're short, you can. It's hard enough for me as it is to operate a camera. Michael, no band this year. Hopefully next fall. Working for the football team. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's tight. I imagine you get some pretty good use out of the Ronin there. Yeah, did you? I think you got some of those Schneider NDs, didn't you? I'm pretty sure you did. I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you got the circular? Just the regular circular? Right, you got what you got. I don't know. Anyways, let me see what else is in this bag. We have a ring, a gear. It's gonna suck. I don't know how to put all this back. It's gonna suck. Nice little motor. That would be a good challenge if I can balance. I did see a video that I did see. Someone tried to balance their what was it? It was like a red. No. Yeah, I think it was like they tried to balance some red, I think, and they couldn't because they had taken away. There is no fine adjustment, side to side fine adjustment on this gimbal. So on the actual sled or base, there's no side to side adjustment. They took that away for whatever reason, and it was only that reason that they couldn't get a balance. So that might be a little bit more limiting in terms of what you're actually able to fly on this gimbal. But yeah, the only side to side we have now is the one on the back. So this is a red. That's actually a good point. So you are able to fly some reds, this being one of them. Good catch. Good catch. Tokina to IRNDs 246. You got the circular ones though, right? Or did you get the 4x5s? So yeah, this, it's pretty useless right now. There's no charge. Bunch of cables, not much in there. You know what I could do? I could do a quick walkthrough of that Dark Knight behind there. Of this beast of an A7S rig. I really wish I could show you this footage. It looks good. It looks good. I'm really excited to color it. In what case scenarios would I this gimbal? Would I use this gimbal? So a lot of times for a lot of corporate work, when it's hard to say now because with everything going on. But usually with a lot of like live events and stuff like that, you'll shoot your A-roll, interviews, talking heads, all that stuff. And then they'll send you out to do B-roll. Like just, okay, go get B-roll of this, breakout session. And it's just like a bunch of people sitting, watching this presentation. Super enticing. So in a lot of times, just general B-roll, like this is perfect. Honestly, it's going to be pretty much paired with the A7S. So whatever job that I'm getting general B-roll or whatever, and they want that kind of gimbal, like kind of Steadicam floaty look, then obviously it makes sense to use. But sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes if I just all I need is handheld, like for documentary work, I'd probably try to lean handheld. Not to say that I would never use this. It would be probably special use case scenarios. But I do feel like gimbals are a little bit overused. People throw cameras on gimbals just for the sake of throwing on gimbal, just because it's cool and like it's the tech. I feel like people get very wooed by the widgetry and of gadgets, and I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. My number one pet peeve is like when people I'm shooting an interview and the client's like, yeah, if you let's put on a gimbal. I think it would be really cool. And I'm like, okay, well, like, this is an interview, right? Where am I moving? Oh, just like back and forth. Just like, I'm like, well, first of all, that's like super distracting. Like, we're supposed to be watching an interview, not this Sway McGee. So, there's time and place for gimbals, for sure. I feel like, especially a few years ago, and I think might have been gotten a little better, but especially on YouTube, people were just wowed by gimbals, and just people love gimbals. I love them too, but there's a time and place for them. So that's just my 2 cents. I bet this on the Komodo would be a good pair. Yep, a lot of people are getting this for the Komodo, with the Komodo. I don't have a Komodo, and I don't plan on getting a Komodo. A few of my friends do have a Komodo, though, so, I mean, and, that with it, the motor, I know the Komodo has amazing autofocus, but, it's a red. Oh, the Sony FX6, that is a very, very good, that would be an excellent pairing, like a good cheese and a fine wine, I feel. I'm still kind of going back and forth between whether I'm going to get one. I have absolutely no need and zero want for an FX6. But I'm obviously pretty deep in the world of Sony, and I'm not a Sony fanboy or anything. Like, I'll use anything. I just happen to like their cameras. But a lot of people have been asking me to check out the FX6, so I don't know. I would love to get my hands on one. I need to get in Sony's good graces. Sony hit me up. Let's see. Where are the Tilta accessories? I don't have any Tilta accessories. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Tilta, just in general. I feel like Tilta is the red of camera accessories. Like, it's all. Okay, don't get me wrong. I love red cameras. I'll use them. If you put one in my hands, I'll use the crap out of it. But that being said, I think Tilta, in my opinion, is they're like the red of camera accessories. Like, it's a lot of it is showmanship, and a lot of it is just like looking cool. You don't know how many times I've heard people that have Komodos or are planning on getting Komodos, whatever, that have told me. I've heard they've said, yeah, I'm waiting on that Tilta cage because it looks sick. You know how many times I've heard that from like multiple people. And it's like, cool. If you want your camera to look sick, then like it'll look sick. But a lot of times, every time I use Tilta, whether it be a cage or whether it be, for the Alexa Mini, it's like just camera accessories in general, I can't rig it in a very specific way because of some very silly design choice that they made. And it seems to be a common thread between a lot of their products. So I'm not a huge fan of Tilta personally. My Blackmagic, my 6K cages, I originally bought their Tilta stuff, and they've been great so far. But I feel like there have been a few minor like annoyances. But I was shooting with Alexa Minis, a month or two ago, and they had Tilta cages on them, and I couldn't. We're trying to rig it on a Steadicam, and it was such a pain in the butt because Tilta makes really weird decisions. But hey, that's just me. Hearing anything about corporate clients sending editing overseas, have a corporate editing client pushing back on pricing. That's interesting. I have not heard that, though. I know that, but that's probably the case for just everyone try to, like, you know, you got all these people on Fiverr who will edit your videos for what, 20, 35 bucks. Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I'm in a spot where I honestly don't do too much editing. I'm doing a little bit, but for the rates that I do edit at, I don't get a lot of pushback. That doesn't surprise me though, because obviously a lot of international places they'll just lowball you. So that is you just have to kind of go back to them, and it all comes back to body of work, in my opinion. So if they have a good body of work, then that's hard to come back by. But like if I don't know what they're basing that pushback from. Like, do they have any work to show for it, or is it just like, we'll give you lower prices? If that's the case, then be like, you know, I know they're giving you lower prices, but you get what you pay for, kind of thing. So, I mean, that's the way I would approach it, just maybe in a somewhat polite way. That's tough though. That's tough. I don't know if they'd be willing to talk about who they're talking to, but yeah, that's crazy times we live in, for sure, for sure. Let me see if I can power this guy on really quick. Doesn't look like it. Unless there's a completely new way to power this guy on. Also, I really like this joystick. It doesn't stick out nearly as much as the old one. I don't know if you could see it. Right. You probably can't see it at all. How's work for you at this current pandemic right now? Can't have weddings and gatherings again, as there's a minor lockdown. So essential businesses. Yeah, I mean, Nevada's pretty much open. We just opened bars a couple weeks ago, so things are kind of open. There's still a lot of restrictions, but that one is mileage may vary for sure. You have places like Florida, which are like just don't give a crap and are just like open. And then you have other places, you know, like you, that are in minor lockdowns. Work for me is actually pretty decent. Like, I'm going on a job tomorrow, and I have like maybe 1 or 2 jobs a week at this point. But it's kind of in waves. Like, some weeks I'll just be like booked for weeks on end, and then it kind of slows down to maybe like a job a week. But it almost feels like even on my off days, I'm like still back here, like just trying to create content for the YouTube channel, since I'm trying to push that a little bit more. So even when I'm not working, I'm still working, because it takes an extraordinary amount of effort for me personally to create YouTube content. But it's nice because it like keeps me busy. So work for me right now is doing, and like I mentioned, I'm doing a little bit more editing now. That's not because I necessarily want to, but it's because one of the businesses that I do work for, they've just been so slammed that they started outsourcing a few editing jobs off to me. So it's cool. It's all right. Dealing with the Borg, yeah, that's rough. Yeah, that's yeah. I would at that point, it's like it's you have to kind of weigh your options and whether or not that client is worth it to, because if they're trying to decide who to work with just based on price alone, then at the end of the day, that might not be the client that you want to work with. But that's just me. Can I charge the handle only instead of? Yes, you can. So that's one of my new favorite things about this. I was talking about this earlier. Absolutely. If I can figure out how to unlock this thing, go like that. That's pretty cool. You can see here, it is charging, and I can take this thing off. This was probably my number one gripe with the old Ronin-s, is that I couldn't do this. And so every time I was prepping at night or whatever for a job, I'd have to take out and assemble the whole dang thing and leave it half hanging out of the case just to charge it. So this is awesome. I love this. And as you can see, it's not a ton of charge there. So let me actually unplug it, see if I got anything. I do like this little drop-in system they have rolling now. Where you just kind of lock in. That is pretty nice. I do like that. All right, let me... Oh, maybe? Got something? And then do I turn the gimbal on? Oh. Connect DJI Ronin to active. I have to activate this? You're joking. Ugh. I hate using my phone. You're sold. That was one of my, yep, I'm super happy that's changed. Yeah, I'm super happy about that. Now I have to use my phone, so I guess you have to connect your phone just to use the dang thing. Which app is it? DJI Ronin. Also, I hate, oh, I don't even remember my password. Okay, got it. RavenEye, gimbal not connected. Device oh. RavenEye S2, connect. Got it. Connecting, I need the password. Default password, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Activation is required prior to using the device. To do so, information regarding your device and DJI account will be uploaded to DJI. Please agree and proceed. So you have to activate it. Activation complete. Okay, now language, English. Go away. Skip. Oh, it's a touchscreen, that's right. So is this on? Oh, hey, there you go. Oh, man. Wait, let me do a balance test. Put my money where my mouth is. Balance test. Restart motor. All right, let's see. I do also dislike using phones. Yeah, it's super annoying. That's what I have to do with my, because I'm doing another video actually for the channel on time lapses and how well the A7S does with time lapses. Probably shouldn't have texted that. But for my syrup gear, for like the motion control on the slider, I have to use my phone, and it's okay, but there have been times where it just straight up hasn't worked. Balance test cannot be completed if the gimbal is not held at an incline. The angle of the incline is insufficient. I need to hold. Oh, okay. I guess you need to do a little tip. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Let's see if this works. You definitely can't see that. Balance test result, tilts, roll pan, excellent. Excellent. Fast forward. Soon, that'll be available. Are we going to talk about the 3D focus module? Probably not in this stream because I have no use for it. I mean, not to say I don't have any use for it, but with this camera, I probably don't plan on using it. If I was using my Pocket 6K, that would probably be a little bit more of a practical use. But with the A7S III and Sony, I have like all Sony lenses. Also, this joystick feels really nice too. It's a lot easier to control since the joystick is a lot shorter and has a little indentation where your thumb goes. I like that. I thought this one didn't need phones because it's only for activating. Yeah, you only need to activate So I guess just have a phone ready. Another question: does it fold better for putting into bags or cases? 'Cause the first one did suck. I hated the first one. Let's see. Turn it off. Okay, it's off. Also, I was never a fan of how the actual battery turns off. I feel like I don't know. I feel like it should all happen at once. I don't know if they changed that. But take that off. Unlock this. And then maybe take this off. Oh, that is okay. That does make sense why you can't slide the Arca Swiss back and forward, is because that way you can actually check it off the camera. And that way when you put it back on, it's still in balance. So, okay, I'll take that back. That is actually kind of smart. So unlock this, slide off, camera's off. And then if you get Arca Swiss plates, you can put it on a tripod or what say you. So if I want to fold this up, locked. And also, if you're just hopping on, these axis locks are amazing. So now everything's locked. And then you could also, I'm not going to take it off because I'm going to put it back on, take off the plate, obviously. So you have this, somewhat small. Probably small. You know what? I should have brought my other Ronin-s out. That probably would have been smart. Alas, I'm not very smart. Battery is tiny, super light. It feels like it's a hollow grip. So, I mean, you could easily fit that into a backpack, I feel like. It would be cool if you could somehow, maybe you can. No. It would be cool if you could just slide this off and just kind of detach it there. So then it would be even smaller, and you could even put this up, maybe up here, and then it would be just a tiny little package. But this is already leaps and bounds better than the original, I feel. Tripping. Nice, locked. Let's see. Can you see break it down, put it away before I end the stream? Yeah, we'll do that. I'm gonna put this back together really quick, and I'm gonna actually use the dang thing. But yeah, this axis lock, super nice, especially when you're balancing. So you can balance it obviously when it's this way, when it's being stored, but then when you're actually balancing, you can lock it that way. And then also the tilt, unlock it, and also lock that. And then I think, do you have a, yep, and then you have a roll. It's not roll. Is it roll? Roll, tilt, pan lock. And then if I did kind of mess with it, so I should be able to slide this back in, lock it, unlock everything, and it should hopefully be still in balance. And 3. Okay, that's cool. I really like that. So you can leave this Arca Swiss plate on your camera without having this long Manfrotto plate on there when you're packing up your bag. So you can take off your lenses, store your lenses, and all that separately. So that's really nice too. So I did mess with that a little bit. Cool. Super easy to balance. I dig it. All right, I'm going to turn this back on. Dan, you're out of the loop. Which one deals better with heavier weight, this one or the ronin-s Crane 2S? I think this one deals better with heavier weight, I want to say. I'm not too versed in the Crane world, but I was talking about this earlier in the stream. I'm not a huge fan of the Crane whenever I used it, especially the 2. It was just a little bit too light and too little. Like the actual handle is as thick as this, and I don't like. I'm almost fairly certain this is better suited to that. Okay, turn on. Cool. Yep. I rock only Panasonic batteries, and that 3D focus is a #1 reason to have this. Aside from the obvious fact that DJI has really improved the first iteration. Yeah. So I mean, great timing. If you don't have a gimbal right now, like the time is now to jump in on this, in my opinion. I mean, even if you didn't go this route, they have like the Weeble 3S Crane X version, you know, all the new gimbals and stuff like that. So even if you didn't want to go DJI route, but yes, the 3D motor stuff is pretty cool. I honestly, you know, again, if I were using my 6K a little bit more, I would be a little bit more tempted to use it, but alas, A7S III, amazing autofocus. Not a ton of use for me there. Where did the motor go? Oh, this is the motor. It's super tiny. It's teeny. Oh. Autofocus is too good. I dig it. You know, and then I'm sure there's a little bracket. So, and also another thing about the motor, the wheel, now that it's up front here, kind of where your index finger rests, is really, really nice. And I dig that a lot. I think this is where it always should have been. Honestly, I never used the thumb one on the previous version. I maybe used it once. And also, I remember when I did use it, calibrating lenses without hard stops was weird. You had to literally stop the lens with your hand. I never liked that. There should be a way to at least manually kind of calibrate your lenses without hard stops. But that's just me. I've got a question, more on light meters. Just wondering where I can shoot that message. You can shoot it on my light meter video. Any one of them, I'll get you back there. Thanks for asking. Love to see a breakdown of that rig in the back in this stream. Yep, so that is another one. For those of you new, so that rig is actually an A7S, believe it or not. It's got all the bells and whistles. We just shot a gym commercial, my gym commercial, today with it, and it performed admirably. S-Log3 looks great. I shot at native ISO, as one should. Not saying that any other way is wrong. I did not use 12,800, the dual base ISO, as everyone is calling it. But no, it's great. I'm really excited to get in and color all that footage. I just have like no room here. But I am planning on doing more of a rig breakdown video, probably sometime next week, actually. Actually, this week. It'll probably be this week. But yeah, no, it's great. It has, monop top, Teradek, battery plate, C-box, tentacle. So production grade, all the. I mean, at this point, you're looking at like an FX9. Actually, that would be probably maybe I'll include that in the video. That would be something to think about as price difference, because you're talking about FX9, 11 to 15, depending on how you rig it out, and then you have the A7S back there with a lot of stuff. I wonder how close this would be. But that's if I were doing a proper commercial, full crew, and all that stuff, that's how I would probably send it out. I'm not saying that you can't do stuff with it like this, just in terms of workflow, like, workflow with crew and interfacing with the camera. All that stuff goes a long way when you're on a real set. But yeah, so I'll probably maybe do a stream. Maybe next week I'll do a stream on that. But I am planning on doing an actual kind of produced video. Real fire or fake fire, that is up for you to decide. Yeah, let me. I'll let you try to figure that one out. So let me know. I'm glad you asked, though. I appreciate it. That makes me feel a little bit better. Does it come with a RavenEye? Yes, my kit did. I got the Pro combo package, whatever. I got the Pro, and so that came with a bunch of extra cables, and the RavenEye and the motor. And I was actually messing with the RavenEye. I don't even know where I put it. Putting this back together. Oh, here it is. So it almost looks like a little Hollyland Warlord, which, by the way, also Hollyland did send me another transmitter too. and I've been also working on that. I'm working on so many videos right now. I just need to churn them all out. But yeah, this RavenEye, it's really small. Goes in on the bottom. Oh, that is on. Let me pause the motors. So this, seems like you just drop in like that, and I'm not sure if there's an actual lock for it, but it just kind of tucks away neatly there, and it just kind of doesn't really take up any much space. There's probably a cable or two you need to connect, but as you can see, I don't, this is my first time even touching this gimbal, so I don't know if there's an actual lock. I don't see one to actually clamp it down, so I don't know, not that anything should really be approaching this area or messing with this area, but like this comes out super easy, that comes out pretty easily, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just need to read the instructions or something. You say fake fire because of the consistency of a platform. Okay, dig it. The fire fades in and out so smoothly. Okay, noted. Noted. Have I ever used a steadicam for my FS7 FX9? I've not used a steadicam. If I'm ever working with a steadicam, if I'm ever using that, a steadicam with that, it's usually someone else is operating. I'm not a steadicam operator. I used to want to be a steadicam operator. That's like what I used to want to do. But I've learned to, at some point in your career, you learn to start delegating jobs. So that is what I've done. And whenever that's a need, I'll do that. A lot of times, though, I'll throw that on a gimbal because gimbals are a little bit more manageable. Not that it doesn't require any skill. It definitely requires some skill, and I'm not very good at it, I think I can admit. But a lot of times if clients are coming to me asking for, specifically for that size of camera, FX9, FS7s, for that kind of movement, usually gimbals are a recommendation to where I can operate that. So that, kind of keeps costs a little bit down because they might not have the budget for a Steadicam operator, so... and not that I'm trying to take away jobs from anybody, but a lot of the conversations nowadays come down to budget. In my thumbnail, so that thumbnail, it's not mine. I took it from DJI's website because I just opened this out of the box. I didn't have any pictures of it, so sorry to mislead you there. So I cannot answer your counterbalance question. So yeah, sorry about that. I know Small Rig. I know Small Rig. They sell counter rigs you can buy on Amazon. They have 1/4 taps or 3/8, whatever you want. And I'm pretty sure you can find a spot. You know what? To be honest, I don't even know what that thumbnail looked like. But I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. So it only transmits to the app. Yeah, the RavenEye only goes to the app. It doesn't have a receiver. If it did, I think the cost of this would be way higher. And it's probably a smart move because, chances are you probably already have your RXTX system, whether it's a Teradek, Holyland, or Vaxis or whatever. Chances are a lot of people already have their system, so it makes sense just to transmit to their app. And then you have all the smart controls and tracking and stuff like that. So there were some people asking, oh, and it's got a little, what's that, a mini HDMI? Cool, I hate that port. So this has a mini HDMI. I mean, it's better than micro HDMI, but they still both kind of suck. It would have been cool to have a bigger HDMI. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah, people are asking if this transmits to multiple devices. I don't know yet. I'm going to assume that it only goes to one, but again, I have zero clue. What are we doing? We looking at the Ronin-s II, RS2. That's not even called the Ronin-s II, it's RS2. Could I see myself using the mimic feature? Maybe. If I was doing... I could if I had the phone mount, which it looks like this is the phone mount. This looks like a NATO rail, so you can put a, also, this looks like a, how is this mounted? So I'm guessing this is a, okay, it is a 1/4-20 with locating pins. So that's cool. It would have been cooler to have a 3/8 with the mounting locating pins. Okay, so it looks like this is a multi adapter. So if you have, I don't know who, like that's, it's so weird. This should have, I feel like this should have been 3/8 with locating pins. Also, if you guys aren't using locating pins with your magic arms or whatever arms you're using, use locating pins. They make your life much, much easier. So, and then you can take this off again, if I can figure out how to do it. I'll just throw it at myself. You can mount this on a cold shoe. So that's kind of cool that they give you all kinds of options in terms of mounting. But so, yeah, I could see myself using that. I could mount this to a tripod head and then operate the tripod, you know, while someone is running this. I could definitely see myself using that. One thing I'll need to try out is how far it transmits and how far, because, again, you'll be relying on your phone. I'm assuming it's Wi-Fi. You're relying on your phone Wi-Fi, which sometimes isn't the greatest or very reliable, so... You know, mileage may vary there, but no, this is cool. I do like this. I do like that they give you a bunch of options. You have NATO, 1/4-20, locating pin, and also cold shoe. Kind of a beginner question, but is there an awesome autofocus? Awesome autofocus in terms of what? In terms of the gimbal, or is it in terms of just a camera? Because I know you can pipe your camera feed into here, but it won't autofocus. The gimbal won't autofocus for you. Usually autofocus is done on the camera side. So to answer that question, I think it depends on what camera you're using. This is the A7S III, so a lot of the newer Sony cameras have amazing, incredible autofocus. So yeah, I would. This kit, the Pro combo, it does come with the motor. As we mentioned earlier, it has a motor that you can attach to gears on your lens, and then you can focus manually there. But if you want autofocus, then you would need a good camera that has autofocus. So, I mean, there's a good amount. What's up, Rudra? Hopefully I said that right. How you doing? Michael, gotta head out. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you coming in the chat. Yeah, and, you know, put that A7S to use. I'm excited to see more of your work with it. Okay, so I think what I'll do is, actually, I haven't even messed around with any of these settings. So follow speed. Let me. Oh, it's sleeping. What do I got? Okay. Follow mode. There's a bunch of follow modes. You got the FPV. How do you? So that one, I guess, just follows the roll and all that stuff. Okay, that's nice. And then you can like change your axes where the pan controls the roll and all that stuff. For that 360 look, which I think is like super overused and like totally unnecessary and unfitting for nearly every time that I see it. As you can tell, I'm not a huge fan of fads. I'm very cynical. Oh, sorry, I didn't even do the calibration. So that's cool that there's one button on the menu to just auto-calibrate or auto-tune instead of... I wonder if the old trigger and M button, it also feels like a little faster. Maybe I could be wrong. Follow speed. What's fast? That's not bad. It feels very, it has this like tension, and it feels like the movement feels very fluid. I would say more so fluid than the original ronin-s. So that's cool. Pan tilt, okay. Pan tilt. Yeah, I dig it. I dig it. Oswaldo, how did you miss this neat release? Yes, you have been. I feel like when this embargo lifted like 3 days ago, and then they announced that it was on sale. So I got mine in yesterday. I think they announced it on like Wednesday, right? Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Wednesday. Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know. But I got mine super quick. They ship from California, so yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a neat little guy. Upgrade. I would definitely upgrade. I have the original ronin-s, and I upgraded. But that's because mine is kind of beat up right now. So, I mean, if yours is working fine, then maybe. It just depends on the features that you're looking for. If you have a good use out of the RavenEye, or even the, some of the mimic features with your phone, where you can kind of use it as a remote head, you might get a little bit more use out of that. And also if you're flying something like a pocket, or, something that has only manual focus, I would say it might be worth the upgrade if you get the Pro combo or whatever. But if your gimbal, if you just run autofocus and your gimbal is working fine, maybe not. So, but for me, my gimbal has seen better days, so that's why I was really excited to upgrade. Just got the Pro package. Looking forward to using it on a commercial shoot. Nice. That'll be interesting. Actually, definitely let me know how that works out. Again, I don't plan on using this too much stuff for commercial stuff per se, but for a lot of, smaller, corporate B-roll, just real small stuff where this is literally all I need, then yeah, that's perfect. Usually that's not the case with, some commercial work. But yeah, no, I'm excited. Or even for YouTube content. I'm trying to I'm trying to push myself to create more YouTube content. So this might be good to, the A7S is so great because what I've been doing lately is, for some of my videos, I've literally just been handing people this camera, like, okay, can you capture a B-roll for me for my YouTube videos? So if I can also just give them this gimbal, that would be cool too. And just, I wouldn't maybe do it all the time, but yeah, it's just another tool. Just like any of this stuff, just another tool. It's not a toy. I personally don't like calling my gear toys, but that's another pet peeve of mine. I hate it when people, we have all these toys to play with. It's like, dude, they're not toys. They're tools. I wouldn't just break one out just to mess with one. Anyway, I'm just rambling. I have a super hard feeling that the Pro is this guy, the Pro package you're talking about, $5,000-$6,000. That's about no, the Pro package, you can buy the Pro combo for $1,000. So that's the gimbal and everything you see here: transmitter, phone mount, cables, all this stuff. So all of this, like all in, $1,000. Alex, it's a smaller commercial project for a local country club here in Atlanta. We have a few scenes around the country club. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, no, that'd be a great little Warlord. What are you shooting it on, actually? Yeah, that's another big consideration too with these smaller gimbals. Yeah, and I don't really shoot weddings. I mean, I have the occasional wedding that I'll do, like once a year, with very extraneous circumstances. But now that I have two A7Ss, like one could live on the gimbal, one can live somewhere else or with someone else. So I'm also very excited to see how this handles and operates. I remember when I first got the original ronin-s 2 years ago when it first came out. It took me like a solid week to get comfortable with it. So I don't know if you used smaller gimbals before, Alex, but if you haven't, definitely take a few days and just literally just use it, because it does take a little bit of finesse just getting the movements right. So I remember it took me like a week, and I thought I was like so bad at it. So yeah, there's that. A7 III waiting on the A7S. I don't know, I ordered since B&H since August. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are going to be waiting for the A7Ss for a very long time. I was lucky because I pre-ordered my A7S like literally. I have the email. It was 5 minutes after the page load. 7:05 a.m. I had my order in, so that's why I have mine. And I think 2 days ago, I just got my cards, my last 2 cards, and so now I have 6 of the CFexpress cards. I love these cards. They're super expensive, but they're super worth it because they're super fast and they have a ton of capacity. I shot the entire commercial today on one single card. I probably should have been dual recording, but everything's already backed up. We're fine. These cards are great. I've gotten about 600 to 700 megabytes a second for transfers. So these transfer faster than any SD card, any XQD card, any SSD, almost any SSD. So I love these little cards. Very expensive. Worth it. Steadicam over Gimbal. I would tend to agree with you. It's, again, like I'm not going to hire a Steadicam operator for a wedding, So, I mean, it's just they're all different tools. Again, different tools for different jobs. I like both. I would obviously tend to prefer Steadicams if I could, but some of us are not always that fortunate. Let's see. Loving all these recent live streams. Much appreciated. Thank you for always putting on incredibly valuable content with high production. Appreciate that. Yeah. So I don't know if you were here earlier, but I am like in the middle of 3 different videos right now. So, and I'm planning on like addressing a lot of the comments I got in my last video. I had a lot of Gerald and Dunn fans come in and tell me how I'm wrong about the dual base ISO, which by the way I still don't buy. But I plan on addressing some of those. But it's I would say amid this whole pandemic, a lot of people have pivoted in a lot of ways. So for me, that's kind of focusing on putting out YouTube content and just trying to put out good information. So a lot of YouTubers out there, like a lot of them have learned off of YouTube, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that, but there is something to be said about practical experience and being able to share the experiences you've had on set, to relay that into the, more common world. So that's kind of my perspective that I'm trying to provide. But appreciate you tuning in and consuming all the content that I put out there. Am I going to check out that tilted car rig? It's funny, if you were in here earlier, I wasn't talking crap about Tilted, but I was saying how I wasn't a huge fan of the products, but that car rig does look cool. And that's exactly what I said. I said that, Tilta is like the red of camera accessories. It's like their products always look cool, and I feel like that's how they draw a lot of their appeal. But no, it would be interesting to check out because black. If you're talking about something like a black arm is what, $7,000-8,000. So not something to rent it is a little bit difficult. So I haven't really looked into that. All I've seen of this Tilta thing is a picture of it. So I don't know, how much it costs, how it actually rigs, but I have been trying to do some car stuff. I'm trying to finish. I've been sitting on my reel for the past year, and I've been wanting to add some car stuff in there. So that is something I definitely want to check out, hopefully by the end of the year. Yeah, you got to pick up those cards. Want to make sure I'm ready to shoot all FPS. Got experience with Crane 2. It's really nice. Yeah, the cards, that was my big thing. Like, I hate compromising on a lot of things. So for me, these cards were a must because I didn't want to like pop in an SD card, a UHS-2 or a V90, V60, whatever card and be like, oh, wait a minute, this is a V60, so what can I do 4K 60X, a VCS? Stop, just, no. I want to be able to record all frame rates and to be honest, I don't use 4K 120 often, but it's nice having the peace of mind that, okay, I can go to that mode. On my last video, I had a lot of pizza footage, all that was 120. That was actually some of my first couple times using a 4K 120 ever, which is nice. I feel like slow motion is also a thing that's just way overutilized sometimes. So, yeah, I'm just super cynical. I just don't like a lot of stuff. Hey from Malaysia. How's it going, Melanie? Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, is it Quippy or Kippy? Quippies? Quippy. That's Quippy, right? Let me know. Yeah, I found that with some YouTube content creators, not pointing at anyone specifically, but some that use Gearside. Yeah, a lot of people, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but some people, they'll like, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves with YouTube, is when people, they get a camera in, and I mean, especially with YouTube, it's like, if it's a race. I feel like a lot of the time sensitive content, it's like a race to being, just throwing the content out there. So a lot of people, they'll film a review, a complete review. I know everything about this camera. If this is my review, my final review, and it's been like a day or something that the camera's been out, and yeah, I mean, that's why you don't really see camera reviews from me, is because I like spending a substantial amount of time with the camera, and I am, hopefully by the end of the year, I do want to put out an FX9 review, and even though there's 1.5 million FX9 videos out there, like I might have a different experience or approach to some other people that you just won't get just having the camera for a limited amount of time. So that's why I just like spending as much time as possible with gear. Ron says Kippy, and you're from Malaysia. Well, thanks for letting me know, Kippy, and thanks for being in the stream. Mac, love the content. Need more lighting breakdowns. Well, actually, everything is shot. I just need to edit it. I have a job tomorrow, so I'll probably be able to get to it tomorrow night, Tuesday. So I'm hoping to put out another video on maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. It's a lighting breakdown of a 3-camera interview I shot with FX9s and the A7S. It's a 3-camera interview, so 2 people. A little challenging, but we got it done. So that's actually going to be my next video, a lighting breakdown. So hopefully I'll get to do more. If I do this long enough, you'll eventually get cynical to all the trends. To be honest, Alex, I think I'm already cynical to all the trends. Yeah. So, to be honest, I started to take YouTube seriously maybe I wouldn't even say seriously. I started to put out more content on YouTube about 3 years ago, and to be honest, and even to this day, I just don't like a lot. I wouldn't say I don't like a lot of YouTubers. I just I don't know. I'm starting to get in the weeds here, but a lot of people, really huge YouTubers, again, like I said, they learned off of YouTube, and all of their trends and all of their fads, they would just be pushing out to people. And then for me, obviously it was story first. So it's yeah, I never hopped on, I usually like going against the grain. I mean, that's, the nicest way of putting it. Which, I mean, if the fads and stuff, if they work for you, then, cool. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's something that I'll always stress. If you like the trendy stuff, or if you like the stuff that a lot of other people are doing, by no means, don't take this as you're doing it wrong. It's more so of a, hey, just do what you like, do what you enjoy doing. So that's what I'm trying to do with this channel. So I'm just trying to put out good information I think is good. So that's kind of my perspective again. Al, just got your light meter. I have some great videos on that topic. Cheers for that. Thank you. Yeah, I put a lot of effort into those. I've actually been using I've been using my light meter a lot more lately. To be honest, for a lot of this year, I did not use my light meter for a while. Part of that's obviously because there hasn't been any work, but for the past couple jobs, I've definitely been using my meter a little bit more. It just gets really hard because I have to calibrate it per different camera. So I actually have a label on the back of my meter saying what ISO to rate the camera at, and usually how I like to rate that specific camera. So, and that's the number one thing for me for whenever I'm using a meter. I always kind of cringe whenever I see if I'm working with a gaffer or someone else, and I want to light to a specific level, and then they'll look over at my camera and see what ISO, and then they'll punch that number in. But the reality is that I don't like, usually I have to calibrate the two in pre-pro or during prep or whatever. So, you know, and it's a process. I'll have to take out an 18% gray, spot meter it, see how that lines up with the incident meter, and get until I get an ISO rating where the two match. And all this might be going over your head, so maybe I'll do a more in-depth video. But I covered a lot of this in my spot meter video if you watch that. But, and the moral of the story, I rate cameras at different ISOs. Like for the A7S III, I rate the camera using a native ISO at 320 as opposed to 640, just because that is what I found works for me. And I've, you know, took a gray card to it, spot metered it, and, you know, did all that stuff, and I got around ISO 320 to get levels that I usually like. So, you know, I used it all day today and worked out great. So, yeah, meters are great. I love meters. Let's see, where I've lost my place. BTS content and camera reviews. That's good. Well, that's that's probably more the content I'm trying to make. So what after my content has been a great bonus to going to school and outside. Yeah, that's good to hear. That's the good, you know, just trying to supplement, you know, some of the great practical, like, you know, Luke Surveld and, you know, Gaffer and Gear, like all those are great channels. If you guys don't follow Gaffer and Gear and Luke Surveld, hit them, check out their channels. I need to link them in my channel. But they're gaffers. One's in San Francisco, one's in Australia, and they have a tremendous amount of wisdom, as I would like to say. Let's see. Mac, when I shoot interviews on FX9, do I record audio direct in the camera or using external? It really depends. It depends on the job. For my YouTube stuff, I do it externally. But that's because I'm using this mic, so, and I feed it through a preamp and stuff like that. So it really honestly depends. Like my most recent mixer is a MISC Pre 6, which has 32-bit float. And so if you've never used 32-bit float before, it's honestly incredible having that latitude just in terms of audio. So if I'm filming something, if I need an audio mixer, if I need to record externally, hopefully more often than not, I'll be able to hire someone externally for that. But it honestly just depends. If I'm doing interview stuff, like you said, a lot of my interview stuff lately has just been straight into FX9. So I'll usually just use a shotgun, and that'll be just straight into FX9. And that's because I'm just, at that point, I'm handing off footage, and I'll talk about this more in like next week's video. That's when I'm just handing off footage. And I don't want to have to like overburden, even though it's their job. You know, as a DP, I like to be nice to my crew including editors. So I'll usually just feed it directly into the FX9. So definitely not going in my first few commercial gigs watching. Oh, thanks. That's good to hear. I'm glad my content's helping out. It's great as the first time director to better understand the dynamics of the set. Yeah, playing the Game of Thrones, if you will, on set, especially when you kind of traverse into the higher, I guess, tiered sets. Like, there's definitely there's definitely some like on-set politics at play, and that's just something that you just straight up need to experience sometimes. So, yeah, it's some of that stuff you can't learn in film school. Gaffer and Gear is the best. Yep, very smart. I love Gaffer and Gear. That guy, he's like, you know, I'm not even gonna say it, but I love that guy's videos. He's got a tremendous amount of on-set practicality, and you know, again, all that stuff ranks king. Epic Lag Media, oh man, they just came out of nowhere, didn't they? I love Epic Lag Media. That guy's on-camera presence is incredible, and he's got such a good like boomy like voice. I love that dude's voice. Epic Lag Media, they're an amazing channel. I love Epic Lag Media, and a lot of good info too. So like that's a big factor in terms of who I tend to like in terms of YouTube channels is if their information is good. So, you know, I guess what I deem as good quality information. So There's honestly not a lot of channels, in my opinion, that I would be able to say that about. Epic Light Media. Yeah, who are some of the good channels that you guys are watching? I'm actually curious. You got me curious now. Who else do you guys watch in terms of I guess video production, whether it be videography, cinematography? Do you guys watch Wandering DP? Pat Sullivan? That guy, I love that guy's work. And his breakdowns, he'll a lot of times he'll break down other DP's work, and he'll kind of show and draw out how to achieve the results that you see in frame. So if you guys aren't checking out Wandering DP, check out Wandering DP. So good. I watched when they had little subs. Too bad they're getting more. Doesn't want it. Yeah, it's funny that I don't want to steal from what Epic Light Media is doing and how they say to not subscribe, but I got a lot of comments in my last video where I was like, I wasn't, I was accepting of all of them, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of people who are real diehard fans of Gerald and Dunn, they were like, they just came and like, you're wrong, you're just wrong. And I'm like, man, don't subscribe to me. I might be able to see where Epic Light Media is coming from now. So I don't know, that's just me. I honestly, it's kind of cool being more of an underground channel. So, smaller community, it's cool being a small channel. I honestly don't mind. And to be honest, I never really got into the whole YouTube game to be famous or whatever. I got into it because I just thought the videos, the first video I probably made seriously was like a small HD 502 review, and I was like, dude, this is cool. Like, I dig this. I didn't make it for anyone else. I just made it because I always wanted to try YouTube content or whatever, so I just kind of made it for myself. So at the end of the day, that's kind of what all this content is for. Even though it might help other people, it's content that I think is cool, so I just put it out in the world. Film Poets, yep, I agree there. Shot my first brand commercial for HelloFresh. Oh, that's awesome. And really enjoyed the pre-production and seeing execution of the final video. Felt like a boss. That's awesome. Yeah. Anything is pretty much made in pre-pro. Movies are made in pre-pro. Even commercials are made in pre-pro. Everything is made in pre-pro. So that's awesome. Good on you. Watering DP podcast. Yeah, also podcasts. Like, are you guys listening to any podcasts? For me, my top podcast would be Team Deacon's podcast, Go Creative Show. Go Creative Show is amazing. I love Go Creative Show. And Wandering DP podcast is pretty good. No Film School is pretty good for like film-centric news. It's interesting though. I haven't listened to them in a minute, but their audio is just, I feel like they're just using their MacBook like webcam. Like, you think you'd be able to like take your condenser mic home or something, and I don't know. Especially when you're talking about podcasts, like, I don't know. That's just me. Yeah, I love podcasts. Dude from Media Division, I don't know of the Media Division. In-Depth Cine, Danny Jervitz. Yep, Danny's cool. Danny's got good work. I feel like that dude has such a inviting and like warm personality. I could just like watch him talk. Team Deacon's podcast. Justin Phillip, good channel. Yep, my boy Justin. Yeah, there's a lot of good sources out there. Do I like Film Right? I used to watch that guy Simon K. Simon, my boy Simon. So Simon, honestly, I'm subscribed. I just haven't watched his videos in a while. I always felt like he's whispering. Like whenever I watched his like older videos, and I feel like he's always whispering. So I feel like that was always a reason I never really watched DSLR Guide's videos. I love Film Right. Everyone loves Film Right. Yeah, Film Right's great. Film Right has always been great. Rob Ellis. I don't know Rob Ellis. I'll need to check out Rob Ellis. I'll need to check that one out. Rob Ellis. I don't know Rob Ellis. I need to write that one down. This is good. I like this. This is constructive. Me. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. I want to get carbon footage on my reel as well. Trying to talk to my local Kia dealership to invest in it. Yeah, that's yeah. You might want to talk to multiple dealerships there. Morgan Cooper, dude. Morgan Cooper, what a success story there. Man, if you guys haven't checked out Morgan Cooper's older videos when he like regularly made content, that dude's videos were fire. And now he's shooting with Will Smith. So that dude, man, that's like the dream. So Morgan Cooper, and I was a patron of his Patreon for a while too before he shut it down. And you know, now he's living out in LA. He probably could have kept going with his Patreon, but you know, he probably got too busy. So, and I feel like a lot of his posts from Patreon were from the Bel Air short that he did. So, who knows? I love me some Morgan Cooper though. Any suggestions for a good set of legs for a C200 that isn't $1 million? So a lot of people ask what like would be a good what would be a good tripod? Like I guess beginner tripod. My advice is always just save up as many pennies as you can and don't skimp on your tripod, because your tripod will literally last you like your entire career. So I'm always of the mindset of buy it once. So I bought this tripod back here. I bought this guy probably about 4 years ago, and it's been wonderful. It's a Miller. I really love Miller. I know you're talking about sticks, but if you can, I would buy a decent pair of sticks. If you're talking about just sticks, there's a bunch of ways you can go. Like for me, my usual go-to like budget combo is the Sockler like Ace. I don't know if you've heard of that system, but it's actually what this camera's on right now. It's good for like lighter payloads and stuff like that. I don't know what kind of cameras you're planning on flying on that, but the Ace M is I know they have like an XL2 version too now, but I think the Ace M is what I have, and I think it's under $1,000, and that's with the head too. You know, it's Sockler, it's that good German stuff, very high quality. So between Sockler and Miller, those would personally be my two, what I would start looking into. Also, I think E-Image makes a couple really good ones too. So you might, maybe between those three, Sockler, Miller, and E-Image, you might have some luck there. I don't know if you're looking for a head too, but might be a good start. And of course, the ultra video shooter in his gear rigs. Oh yeah, Caleb. Yeah, and you know they do a lot of streams. I know he does a lot of stream with the C47, the Cameron Flask. I love that stream. I'll leave it on all the time when I'm camera prepping or whatever. Their stream is really good. Actually, it's funny because I thought for the longest time I thought C47 had like a huge YouTube channel, but they have like 8,000 subscribers. But their content is great. So that's another channel too. If you guys are looking for channels, the C47. Yeah, and that little live streaming kit that DSLR video shooter came up with the ATEM in the little Pelican, I think that was super cool. Jacob Owens has a ton of content on her channel. If you scroll way back, lots of good BTS. Yeah, that dude's on a hustle. He's got, his like the Prism business, and he's doing stuff on YouTube. On top of he's selling his own courses and stuff like that. Yeah. Felicia Smith, I love Felicia Smith. She's actually linked on my channel. Yeah, great channel there. A lot of great practical experiences as an AC. A lot of stuff I've learned because I don't really AC, but whenever I do, I'll go to her channel and get some refreshers there. Matt Devella production, yep. Also great videos. Make Art Now. His automated YouTube. Yeah, Make Art. He's got an interesting vibe. His whole theme, his whole studio theme is very interesting. It's like a rustic, futuristic, like cyberpunk, I guess almost. Yeah, he's got a good little setup. Actually, we did something similar today. So we had my first AC. He had the Teradek RT set up. Like, I don't know if you've seen my Teradek RT video, but he had the monitor, follow focus, and he was actually running audio for me too into the MISC Pre. So I had the audio recorder on a Mayfair clamp, and that was kind of armed up. So that was what the audio was feeding into. So I think I watched a video of Make Art Now's a little while back, and I think he did something similar. So, Make Art Now, yeah. Are you close to any big YouTubers? Have any plans? No, I'm not close with any big YouTubers. I think about this a lot. Like I said, I'm trying to make all this content. It's mainly for me. I never got into it for, to, get big or anything like that. Like I said, I like being a small channel, but I've no current plans for any collabs or anything like that. And it's even harder now with everything going on. But I know like Armando and Epic Lucky Media, they just did one. So, probably not. I'm a very introverted person, so I like kind of keeping to myself. I don't know if you get that at all from this stream or these videos, but it's actually since I started making more YouTube content, that's when I started making more kind of on-camera appearances, because I used to never have any interest at all being in front of the camera. So that's maybe breaking out of that shell in somewhat. So yeah, there's that. Have I tried an ACES workflow? I've tried it a couple times. I've taken actually a few courses, just really briefly, and just kind of looking at just kind of peeking the curtain and just kind of looking at the ACES workflow. I haven't really actually done any projects in ACES. My friend Jeremy, who actually was my first AC today, I know he does a lot of stuff in ACES. So I'm trying to convince him to get on a stream with me for one of these Gearside streams. So what we'll do is whether that's remote or if I go to his workstation or he comes to mine, and then we'll kind of go through his ACES workflow. But yeah, that is a Gearside topic that I'm planning on covering. So because I'm interested in learning about that stuff too. So it's interesting. Ever since I started grading log manually, I haven't really been using any LUTs. So, I know ACES kind of is meant to simplify all that stuff, but I'm starting to enjoy grading log a lot more, and I just straight from scratch. So, and that stuff really helps. Cool. So I know this stream was supposed to be centered around this ronin-s RS2, but it kind of got away from us. But yeah, that's it. It's a gimbal. It works like any other gimbal that we've seen. I don't really see myself planning on doing a video on this because there's already 1.5 million videos, and it's a gimbal. It does as advertised. Thanks, Alex. Looking forward to seeing some clips from the workout video, the A7S. Follow you. Yeah, let me know about that. Thanks for coming in, Alex. Super excited to go over the gym stuff I shot today with the A7S. That'd be a good video. I think that's all I have for me. Thanks again, everyone, for joining the stream. We have about 98 people in here. That's crazy. I don't think I even have 98 friends. So that's, I guess you all are my friends. If you are interested in a video on the RS2, let me know. I probably don't plan on making one. It might be cool to go over all the kind of like cool new bits and bobs and how I would use them in a production environment. But at the end of the day, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Just let me know. It also might be cool to try balancing an FX9 on this, or FX6. This would be a great camera for the C70. But I would actually be really interested in see if I can get an FX9 to balance it. Because once it's rigged down, it's super light. So I might need to try that. I'll answer a few quick questions first. Did I start out as a photographer? I did, actually. I got in photography when I was probably a freshman or sophomore in high school. So it was a while back, and I got my first camera was a T1i, and it was an awful camera. It was a good camera, but in terms of video, it was awful. You couldn't change any of the video settings. You were stuck in program mode. So whatever the camera looked at, it chose the settings for you. I started out as a photographer, and then I love photography. I still do it kind of personally, and I did photojournalism for a while, And then somehow I became the photo editor at my college paper. So I had a pretty decent background in photojournalism, and I feel like a lot of that stuff helped, especially when it translates in terms of documentary work, obviously. So, and in terms of like composition and just kind of, you know, as a camera operator, when you're talking about composition and all that stuff, a lot of that stuff is very instinctual. Camera operating is very, very instinctual, and it is very, very hard to teach. And being able to read body language is also another big part of that too. Like just being able to see how someone shifts their weight. You can kind of have a sixth sense in terms of that's the direction they'll go, or, you know, whatever. That's kind of where they'll start moving within the frame. So being able to read body language is a big part of that. And I feel like, you know, my beginnings as a photographer and in photojournalism and all that stuff, that definitely helped. I should just do a video and just say it's a gimbal. That's that's a pretty good idea. That's a good idea. I'll sit on that one. I'll simmer. I'll let it simmer. Have a video more on the business end of things. Yeah, that would be a good video. I've toyed around with like kind of making some kind of course, but it always comes back to value. Like I feel like I can't provide enough value to actually monetize something like that. And that's also another thing that kind of irks me with YouTube and all that stuff. It's like, you know, a lot of people, you know, for a lot of people, this is their full-time job, full-time careers, and there's nothing wrong with that or wanting to monetize that. But, you know, I feel like there might be a line to that. Like a lot of times I'll see YouTubers where they'll like turn the camera and they'll be like, okay, listen, this is a quick disclaimer. I'm by no means a colorist. But also, I sell LUT packs, so if you look in the description, buy my LUT pack. But I'm not a colorist. It's like that video of, but I'm not a rapper. Anyways, yeah, but I have. There's a couple different. That might be a good video though, just handling things on the business end of things. It might be a little. I don't know how in depth that would be, but because and that's also why, like, you know, if I do end up going to some kind of course model for that, like I would be a little bit more willing to share more of the financial information, you know, for people that are paying for that information. But then again, that always makes me feel a little bit weird. So, but there are a few quick, like, business kind of quick tips, if you will, that would be good to share, you know, in terms of just YouTube. So, yeah, I already have a few ideas kind of rolling around in my head for that kind of stuff. Thanks for all my contributions. Thanks, Brendan, for tuning into the stream. I think that about does it for me. I had fun chatting with y'all. I'm excited to use this guy a little bit more and, you know, all that it has to offer. And, you know, again, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments, or even future ideas for videos. I'm always willing to accept new ideas on videos and stuff like that. So if you guys have a particular question or, you know, whatever, I'll do my best to facilitate. But other than that, that'll do it for me. Again, I'll keep your eyes peeled on the channel for another video. Probably, I would say about Tuesday, Wednesday. That'll be another lighting breakdown. So if you're not subscribed, get subscribed and do all the YouTube stuff. I'm not going to say it. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next